Every haunting has a beginning and an end, but in this place, one becomes the other. Step closer, the lantern's glow will guide you. What you are about to hear are true stories of hauntings all over the world. Welcome to Help, I'm Haunted. Hello, my darlings. Welcome to Help, I'm Haunted. It's a good story tonight, and I'm so glad that you are here. Oh, my. We've got a background, and listen, I just want you to know, first of all, I got to put up the trigger warning, okay? Because, well, I just think that that's better for everybody for right now. Anyway, and of course, you know what else I have to put up here? I'm getting conditioned finally after what, a year? Don't forget your favorite grifting, non-grifting psychic. Thank you very much. Today is Thursday, October 23rd. We have one more to go before Halloween. How many of these have we done? So next week, we're going to have a little poll about your favorite one. So I'm going to ask, what was your favorite story? You'll know which ones they are. So what was your favorite story? And I'll probably pick 3, something like that, 2 or 3. And then, and then we will see who is the winner. So, oh my goodness, this is the first one. Let's all welcome. I've seen you, my darling, in the chats, and thank you so much for your very kind and very sweet comments. Welcome everyone to Carrie for being here. This is her first one. So you may have to go back and take a look at the other ones, Carrie, on the playlist, because they're all really good. But tonight I've got a really, really, really good one. So, but before we get started, I have to thank, I have someone else. You guys are so wonderful in sending me little goodies because, you know, I have the Amazon wish list. And just want to let you know, there is a 2 carpet cleaners in there that I am manifesting. Do not think that that's something that you have to get me. Okay? Look what I got. I got another favorite planner. This is the one that I love. And this little note says, I enjoy your show. Enjoy and give your kitties kisses from me, Jill. Is that not sweet? Is that not kind? Listen, I go through these planners like I don't even know what, but I love them. And thank you so much. You guys listen, I'm well stocked. I go through them because I write down everything and I just look for everything and I write it all down, content, everything else. And of course, you see lately, I've been working on some numerology little projects. They are called the Zelda Codex System. Now, I have been working on this for a very, very long time, and I'm about ready to launch it. And I thought, what better way than to just try and maybe sort of, kind of try it on some other people? And that's what I'm doing. Listen, hang tight, because you're going to see some bad actors surfacing in the codex, just like Proctor. Now, hold on a second. Virginia, you did not come off rude at all. I'm like, oh my gosh, I better check that out. And I'm so glad that you did, because I'm going to tell you what, if Turtle Boy would have caught that and it would have been wrong, oh, I would have been the next one featured on his show, which we do not want. So anyway, thank you very much for that. And we have Sam. Coming in. We know Sam Miami. She is also the curator and the owner of the place that I live in. I pay her rent. So there we are. Oh, we have another first timer. Elmo, hello, my darling. Welcome, welcome. You're going to love it here. You're going to love these people. I love it. I need your email address so I can send you an Amazon gift card. Well, I guess the people in the chat, my mods and my darling, I noticed that Captain Harris is now Captain Harris. That's still Captain Jerry. So YouTube is just kind of playing musical chairs with our names again. And look, this girl makes my nose a little tickly. So anyway, there we are. So Sam is featured in videos. Yes, she's confirmation, right? It's either her or Shaggy Noodle, but sometimes you hear Bilbo in the background, and sometimes you even hear Riley. I would get Riley on the stage. I've tried that before, my darlings. Riley will take up almost the whole video or the whole camera. He is 22 pounds. This is his mama. Shh, don't tell him. He thinks I am. But this is his mama. So anyway, he's a big boy. I don't know what happened. I guess he ate some Miracle Grow one day, because here's the story of little Riley. He was her second litter, and Riley had a little sister. It looked just like her. Well, the little sister didn't make it. So I named them Hansel and Gretel. Well, little Riley survived. And he wasn't any bigger than a minute. He was a little turd. He was little. And one day I saw him walking toward his water bowl, and he just kept eating or drinking. And I thought, oh my gosh, he's hungry. And look, he's losing weight. He's hungry. Because this thing right here, she would have never gotten the Mother of the Year award. I can tell you this, she is a mean girl. Yeah, look at her. See, she loves mommy, but every now and then, when I get out of hand, she smacks Max. That's just the way it is. This is mama to all of them, except one that I had, and he has passed away. So little Gretel went to heaven, and Riley grew up, and I changed his name from Hansel to Riley because he has lived the life of Riley. The moment that I picked him up and he was hungry, he got raw hamburger, he got chicken, he got all kinds of goodies. I guess that must have been some Miracle Grow, because now that boy is big. And he'll come in at night and wrap his little arms around my neck. And it's like, oh, dear God. Anyway, she is the mama. She's the mama. So enough about kitties. I got a couple of other things that I wanted to share with you. We will be having a Kelsey Fitzsimmons goodie thing, a fundraiser, goodie thing, fundraiser. That will be next Wednesday night, October 29th. And we're going to keep in with the theme because my son is going to be co-hosting with me. Now, he won't be on camera, but you'll be able to see what he's doing, and you'll be able to hear him, because he is going to be playing, because he is a professional gamer. He will be playing a game that I love, and I think you will too. It is called Resident Evil 4, and it is a remake. So the name of the fundraiser will be Fighting Evil, Fighting Crime. And we can go in because that game is all about fighting zombies. And the main character who he will be playing is a police officer. So I thought, how fitting. So we can go through and we'll name all the zombies, all the bad actors, but we will be respectful because, you know, I don't really feel good about saying that I feel that the Justin is a douche. Not in front of Kelsey anyway. So we will be respectful. But we'll start at 6 p.m. I'm sending links to all of our friends, and whomever wants to come in and say hello, they can come in and say hello, and whoever doesn't is fine too, because everybody's busy this time of year. So we're going to go as long as it takes him to finish the game. And we're going to raise some money for Kelsey. Because, here's what I'm thinking. Kelsey knows her case backwards and forwards. And I really don't know the legal ins and outs of it. And I don't want to go and rehash it. She already knows it because I think she'll be coming in our chat. So I want to be respectful for her. Look at the vampire teeth. Do you see this? So what I want to do is I want us to lift her spirits. We're going to have fun. We'll invite her here. We're going to be, we're on our side. We've got her back. And that's what we're going to do. And you're going to hear my son do his Christopher Walken imitations. You're going to be hearing us, he and I, rant. So there we are. But back to the Zelda. And no, Miss Virginia, you're fine, because I'm going to tell you what, you saved me from a rant. Oh, and you know exactly what I mean. You saved me from that rant. And dear jumping jollies, that would have been horrible. So anyway, but it turned out positive to begin with. Stay tuned for the bad actors that are coming. The Bad Actors Guild from 34 Fairview. Oh, they're going to be coming. And by the way, since yesterday, I have a message for Jennifer McCabe. You better get a refund on those dolls, darling, because they ain't working. You better go back to your practitioner, to whomever you got those from, or you got your little idea of how to do them from. Because guess what? You heard in that mirror, in that reading that I did for Aiden today. I'm going to tell you this. Everything is a mirror, and all of this is going to start reflecting on them. We're all going to start reflecting on them. And I'm going to say, since Proctor and all this other stuff, do you think that they had a party at the VW last night? No, I don't think so. Somebody blessedly said a pity party. Yes. Yeah, right, Mitchell? That maybe they were made in China and she doesn't have to worry. Maybe she got them on Amazon. Well, let's hope that they didn't get them on, sorry, it got a little ear ting. Let's hope she didn't get them in at Etsy. That's a whole other story. Where Jezebel magazine ordered some things with a witch on Jezebel ordered some witches to pray against Charlie Kirk. Guess what they've got coming? So there you go. Yeah, maybe she got them on Temu. There you are. So welcome. I'm so happy that we have new people in. Don't forget, like, subscribe. We have a giveaway tonight. This giveaway is pretty exciting. Once we get all through this, I can't wait to start this story because you guys are going to just love it. Maybe they have a boomerang curse. I don't know, but listen, I think more is lurking this Halloween than the monsters. Maybe Agent Oobligada may be showing up in his ice cream truck again at Jennifer. Okay, we're going to stop that now. So here we are, my darlings. Look at this giveaway tonight. After the story tonight, I want you to all check in because this is a 1-month subscription to Beacon TV. And if you like paranormal content, if you like paranormal investigations, there is a show that is hands down, I think one of the best ones in a long time. If you can remember the Holzer files that was on Discovery Plus and I think TLC that had Dave Schrader, Shane Pittman, and Cindy Kaza, well, when they canceled, these big networks canceled their show, everybody was devastated. They got together and they made a show called Paranormal Mysteries. Look at this. There we go. I love my subscription. Thank you so much again. This was a winner. This was a past winner. And believe me, you can sit and binge watch. And believe me, Shane Pittman is one of the nicest people you'd ever want to meet. Love it. Love it. Okay, look at this. Newbie, found you last night. Great to catch you live. Tina, I'm so happy that you're here. And I'm great. I'm great. Yes. Hello. It is great to have you. And I'm thrilled to have you. So hello to each and every one of you coming in. I always like to give the announcements first because I know that people take a minute because sometimes the tubes will not give you a notification. Why? So anyway, always glad. And listen, for the new ones, I think I have one of the best, if not the best, chat in YouTube. There you go. I think that I've got it because everybody is so respectful. You don't have to worry. There's nothing foul. There's nothing there's nothing right? You're here as long as we're respectful to each other and we don't say nasty, nasty words, then, thank you so much. You guys are so awesome. And I'm going to tell you, I had so much fun at last Monday night, Manifestation Monday. We're working on new merchandise and I have to get everything set up. You guys are going to love it. Rocking with the mushroom. Manifesting with the mushroom. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun. You guys have the best ideas going. Now, hold this thought. You can see that I keep looking over. I've got chats from True Oracle is running and of course my channel. And I get so distracted because I love to see what you guys are saying. So when you see me looking over there, I try not to get distracted. Okay, there goes Sister Buys. Oh, stretching. All right. So anyway, right, Renee? I love it. I love it. You guys were on fire, Wallflower. You had some wonderful ideas too. You guys are wonderful. You guys are wonderful. Let's go through some of this. We have a couple of new members. Jen, bless you, my darling, became a new member. Thank you so much for being here and with True Oracle. And remember that every other Sunday, I do a members only live readings. I read your cards. So, and I will tell you what, we're going to be busy next week. I can tell you this because we have about maybe 4 days of live streaming, if not 5. So we are down to the wire. I'm going to be fixing the meal, and that's not going to be live, but you're going to see the video, the meal for Ichabod Crane, who happens to be my son. Will eat it. Hello. As long as he's not headless and riding through, it will be okay. And then we have a special Halloween night. I am dressing up and you guys are going to love it. And the intro, you guys are going to love the intro. I'm just going to tell you. And you will recognize it immediately. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So don't forget to be here. And thank you so much. Virginia is and has been a member for 7 months. So thank you so much for your continued membership. I love being here. I needed to protect you. You sure did. Oh, you did. Can you imagine? I would have shape shifted. Seriously. I would seriously, if I would have been featured with wrong information, I would have, but it is what it is, right? It wouldn't have bothered me. But, if it's my fault, then maybe I sort of kind of deserve it a little bit. And look who is in the chat. It's Mrs. Marie. Hello. Thank you. Thank you. There you are. Well, I'm going to surprise you all. What am I going to be? Well, I'm going to surprise you all, and you all will know it when you see it. When you won't even see me, you'll hear the intro, and you'll know exactly what it is. You'll know exactly what it is. You won't even need to know. Here we are. There we go. There we go. All right. So guess who's here again? Had to get a drink. That's important. All right. So speaking of which, pardon me. Cheers. Thank you so much. You guys are so wonderful. Ariana Malone. I love that. Wow, I love that name. That is so beautiful. I love watching your videos. They are so interesting. Thank you. If I can talk and scribble and write. Where so you get Cat TV? Cat TV is, where do I get on YouTube? YouTube has several Cat TVs. The one that they love right now, you've got to get this. It is one with squirrels and birds, and they set up these little Halloween things. And I know, sister, they set up these little Halloween things, and they've got these little skulls and little tombstones, and they've got all this, and these little squirrels and birds play amongst this stuff, and these guys are just like, but I can tell you what, next week I may have to put them, because I'm going to have a lot of stuff going on. I may have to put them in the room, but they'll be okay. Amazing background, by the way. Is that a new drawing? That is a new drawing. Thank you so much. This is one that I drew out from memory of the story that I am about to tell you. So welcome, mods. And Patty is a little late tonight. She was having a little bit of issues with her. She was having a little bit of issues with her internet. She will be back very, very soon. So, my darlings, let's get started. I think I've given you all of the announcements and all the goodies and all. Yeah, I think I have. So now, just so you know, I'm going to be playing some sounds in the background. Okay, so I got sounds happening. So sounds in the background, just so you know. And Renee, bless you, my darling, for the very generous Cash App. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are always so generous with me. Thank you. Thank you. So, well, if you're on your way to work, my darling, greetings. Just a quick hello on my way to work. I'm taking my client to an escape room today, the Witch's Lair. Oh, would that not be fun? Well, you have a wonderful time. Hey, I would love your job too. That's pretty cool. So here we go, my darlings. Get some snacks, settle in, because it's story time. And here we go. Imagine this, okay? Halloween night. The Lions building in St. Augustine, Florida, circa 1887, was condemned. But the Jaycees had other plans, and so did something else. So when the cathedral bells struck 12, I realized we weren't alone, and we weren't alone in there. So I know you're going to ask me what Jaycees are. For those of you who do not know, the Jaycees, spelled Jaycees, are the official United States Junior Chamber, in which is a leadership training and civic organization for individuals aged 18 to 40. So this has been a while ago because I qualified in the age. So you get together, you have meetings, you learn leadership skills, but you do things for the community, and you do, you just, it's a really fun time to get together. So my darlings, I'm going to give you a visual. This is the Lions building right here. You can see the entrance is in the middle. You see these two right here. The entrance was in the middle. There's a turret on this side and a turret on the other, and then there's an entrance in the middle. It was abandoned. Now it's not abandoned. It was abandoned during the time that the Jaycees wanted a haunted house. And it was this week, the time we are in right now, in 1990. I was in a Jaycees, and I volunteered to be the resident card reader, gypsy card reader, by the way, so I could dress up like, And so I dedicated anything that we made from my card readings back to the Jaycees. So definitely it was a haunted house. There were a lot of actors. And believe me, I went through and I had a camera. Now, these were the days before cell phones and the day before all this, whatever. I had just a regular camera. In that regular camera, I used 100% 100 ASA, which is a very slow shutter speed. And I had a lot of film. And I also had a Polaroid camera. The Polaroids were instant. Yes. So we went to the Lions building, and let me give you a real shot of what the Lions building is, and then you'll understand where we are. This is a real aerial, if I can talk today. You see the red circle is one of those turrets. That's where I would be Halloween night, and I wasn't supposed to be there. And this is Sam coming through again. Pardon me. This is where I was Halloween night, October 31st of 1991. You could see above, because those treed areas is a little park in between. And then the arrow points to the Basilica Catholic Church of St. Augustine. That is one of the most beautiful Catholic church that I've ever seen. So think of this now, dark, gloomy. We had the perfect sage set for Halloween night. So this happened Halloween night, but there were some other little things that happened too. And those other little things kept happening because, first of all, when you went into the building, there was a huge, great big staircase because the bottom main floor, the ground floor there, was for shops. Originally, there was a Pizza Hut that was going to go in there. And there were workers in there and plumbers in there. And finally, after about 4 days, they put their hammers down, they put their wrenches down, and they quit. And they said, we're not going to do this anymore. I guess they had things flying through the airs. It scared them. Air. It scared them. They decided that they did not want to even be there. So the fire marshal came around. And of course, I had to be outside. And he looks and he said, who's in charge of this? And I said, well, our president is inside. He goes, look, you guys can't have candles in here, because they were planning on having candles. And I kept telling them, you guys can't have candles in here. We're opening this to the public. There's no electric. There's no anything. And we're going to burn the place down. You got to be careful. Now, the fire marshal gave us an occupancy, so we could only allow so many people in at one time. That big building on the main floor, I'm going to show it to you again. And you see the turret closest to you is the one circled in the real aerial that I had. So you see the ground floor where you went up through, you could go through those top or the next 2 floors, but that top floor that has the red roof under it, right? That's the top floor, and then the 2 turrets, we were prohibited to go through. It was condemned. So we decided, well, maybe not so much we, but I decided that Halloween night, after this whole thing was over, I was going to sneak a little time up into the top floor because it was burned out. And I wanted to see. And there was a legend around that top floor. And I even tried to find out today. And the Historical Society told me that they had heard the same story, but they could not verify it. Okay, I'm going to tell you the story anyway because it fits. So during the whole time before we were open, we were in and we were decorating. I was taking pictures. And God help me, I wish I had those pictures now, because you would see some of the things that I caught on film would raise your eyebrow. So I was just happy snapping along. Okay. And I decided I wasn't going to have anything developed. Yes, those were the days that I had to get things developed. I was not going to get anything developed until after the next day, which was November 1st. We had a meeting. We were all going to meet together for lunch. And I was going to get some things developed that morning. So we would go through there and there would be some oddities that would be happening to everyone. Like maybe something just pulled down or something weird. But this whole place was weird to begin with, because back in the 1970s, I'm sorry, in the 50s. Now remember, this building was circa 1887. It wasn't, they really didn't know, but that's where they feel that it was built, because back then they didn't really record a lot of things, and sometimes records get lost and so forth. So it was so interesting because there were nothing but tiles. And do you see, let's see, on this side. If you see on this side, the tiles were just like a bathroom tile, but supposedly monks went in there in the 1950s and painted all of these tiles. Kept them busy, I guess, because they lined the stairwells, the walls, on all 3 levels. Now, evidently, that top floor had burned out way before the 1950s. It was the turn of the century, then in going into from the 1800s into the 1900s, and it had never been renovated, never been fixed, nothing. So you can imagine it was very much neglected. At one time, they thought they were going to tear this building down, and we rented it. It was really, really cheap because there was no electricity, nothing. So we were able to run electrical cords, plug in other places. Shop owners allowed us to do that. So we did have some lighting because otherwise it was dark as could be. So we had flashlights. We had a lot of things. So yours truly, the gypsy, the tarot reader, and at that point, I wasn't even reading tarot. I was reading regular playing cards. I was in the first room. As you went up the steps, the first room to the right, it probably wasn't any bigger than maybe a small bathroom. I had a table in there. I had a few little things in there, some drapes, and I was all dressed up, whatever, big earring, an excuse to dress up. That's what it was. There was a big window. There are big windows in there, just like this. So I had to hang drapes in there because the street lights were coming in and they were very distracting. So to start off, the first night we were open, I couldn't see where the flip. So somebody said, well, I'll stand in there and use a flashlight. And that was just crazy. So the president of the Jaycees said, I'm going to get you some candles. Just be careful. Well, you can imagine I was so careful because I thought, holy moly, I don't want to get in trouble. I mean, gosh, if we burned the place down, that would be absolutely horrible. So I had somebody standing in there with me just to make sure everything was going all right. And you know how haunted houses go. Didn't want anybody getting any rowdy, right? So I had 2 candles, tapers, on either side of the table. So I had a few people coming in, right? And they had a really good reading, and the readings were $5. I just flew out a couple of cards. It wasn't anything real serious, but I gave them card readings. Finally, these 2 girls came in, and they were the ones that were just clamoring all over to begin with, right? They were scared. They thought something was going to jump out after them. And I told them, I said, look, not while I'm in here. This is my room. Nothing is going to jump out. And they just kept looking around you. And they just kept, all this other stuff. And they just kept practically screaming and not paying attention. All of a sudden, one of the girls says, there's something behind you, me. And I said, no, nothing's behind me. And the one guy that was with me, and he looked, he goes, nothing's behind. She goes, there's something behind you. I thought you said nothing was going to come after us. I said, honey, there is nothing in this room. And just then, one of the that was an evil laugh, wasn't it? I can't help myself. It was a haunted house. Just then, one of those tapered candles flames just spit. I mean, it just went pow. It spit right up. And that's what they call a candle when they do that. It's spitting. It just spit, just one, not all of them. It just one of them. And that flame was like, whew. Those girls, I thought, were going to just fall out. They did nothing but scream. They were not, and I'm like, wait. And they were knocking the table and just being, scared, but irresponsibly scared. So this guy looked at me and goes, what the heck was that? And I said, I don't know. Maybe something is here. But that was the only night that happened to me. That was the first night. So anytime I didn't have any card readings, I would take tours and I would go around. And then I would say, does anybody want a card reading? Because if not, I'm your tour guide, and I would take you around. And I had flashlight. And then I had somebody following with a flashlight. And, there were things, jump scares, all this other stuff. And then there was one time where this person in black, in a black cape, walked right in front of me. I bet probably it was it. I bet probably it was 6 feet in front of me, not more than 10. And it dashed right in front of me. Everybody saw it because I had the flashlight on. And I'm like, hello? Because I didn't know that was not part of the actoring, it was not part of the skit. We got up to this place and there wasn't a door. There was a wall there. There was no curtain. There was nothing. And everyone saw it. It came from one side and just darted right into the other. And I thought, oh, oh, nice. This is nice. Okay, we got a little visitor here. So everybody was scared from that moment because I knew that there was something in there to begin with. So little things like that will keep happening. And some of the other people that were guides and, we part of the Jaycees group that were working there too, kept having experiences. So we would leave at the end of the day. Maybe we go to Waffle House or something, but I never did because I was tired and it drained me. And it was warm too, because there was no circulation in this place. And you can imagine people coming in and then there's candles. And I was always hyped up worrying about having an accident or something. Come Halloween night, we were packed. many came to me and said, look, we want to go up to the third or to the fourth floor. Are you game? I'll lead the pack. Let's go. And they said, well, when we're done and we close, we're going to make sure everybody's out and then we'll go. Fine with me. Let's go. So finally, it was over. It was done. And we were all so thrilled and happy. We were all just excited. Lo and behold, we get to the point of the fourth floor. Now, it had these big, like I said, the big entryway. I mean, my goodness, those stairways had to be at least 20 feet wide. They were huge, going up, all tiled. We started to go up there, and the president's brother said, I'm going to go up there too. He was working in there. And I was going in. The guy that I was dating didn't want to go up. So we got halfway up, and we heard some noise from the fourth floor. Now, nobody was up there because they couldn't get, it was locked, and we had the key. So nobody could have gotten up there. Everybody else chickened out, except the president's brother and myself. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, he was cute. He drove a motorcycle. His last name was Green. And I kept saying, oh, I can't do that because then I would be Zelda Kelly Green. The odd things that we think of that are more important in our lives, not that we could have an attachment or anything, but oh no, I don't want to be known as Zelda Kelly Green. But he was cute. So we go up there and he says, you need to hold my hand. And I'm like, oh, really? Maybe. Okay. And he goes, no, I'm really don't want anything happening to you. And because he was really like taking the lead. Okay, fine. We get up there and it is just, the roof is caved in. Trusses are down. It is totally burned out. Totally. Everything still smelled like smoke. It had been charred. You could tell the wood was good because bits and pieces were still, in view, so on and so forth. So we get up there, and I'm going to show you again. We were right in the middle. Sam, you're going to have to stop coming through, sister. She gets down, gets a drink, gets a snack. I guess I'm the one who taught her that. So you can see, and that one little thing there by the window is a balcony, because they would do that, right in the middle. But we were right in the middle, underneath the red roof there, right in the middle. We could either go right or we could go left. So we were in the middle, and one side was not burned out. So I said, okay, let's go to the left first. We went to the left first, and I kept getting so overwhelmed. Heat. I could feel the heat. And I could just I was pulling back, and he kept saying, are you all right? Are you all right? Now, listen, it was just, he had a wee little flashlight, and our eyes acclimated to the, to the darkness, because there were windows like this where street lights from below were shining through. So we could really see, not well, but we could see. The heat got horrible. And I told him, I said, I can't breathe. I can't go on. And he said, well, you're going to have to, because we're going to be looking at this, and this is our one shot. And I was like, I know. So we go back, and we decide to go to the right. And just as we are coming up to the right, this is a replica my darlings, behind me of what that turret staircase looks like. And there was a full shot of the steeple of the Basilica Catholic Church of St. Augustine right across there. And you could see, and it was a waning moon, which means 2 nights before, the night before, it was a full moon. And it still looked like a full moon, only it was just a little sliver off. It still looked like a full moon to me. And you talk about the epitome of Halloween. Oh, it was great. I got to tell you, it was great. It was like a movie. It was great. So we started going up these steps, and all of a sudden we heard these steps, like clonking steps coming to us. Mr. Green says, "Hello? Hello, are you there? Hello?" And we heard nothing, and the footsteps stopped. And he said, "I bet that's my blankety blank brother. I bet he's figured out a way to come up here to scare us." And I said, "Well, he's taking his life in his own hands because, listen, right now, I don't feel well. And believe me, I don't want to be responsible." That's right, ruin. I don't want to be responsible. So he's got my hand and I'm taking pictures. And he says, "It's time to take pictures." Now, remember, there's a flash on my camera because you have to have some type of lighting. And we would hear these footsteps. We got up to the top of the turret. Now it is midnight. Here comes the sounds. Here comes the sound. Are you ready? It is now midnight, and we are hearing the 12 ringing of the bell from the Catholic Church outside of the window. We go up to the turret, and it's a square room, just as it is, nothing else more. And it was burned out, and you could smell, and it was horrible. Then we heard these heavy footsteps and pounding on the wall, as if somebody was pounding to get into something. He held my hand, and I told him, I said, "Close your eyes. I'm taking pictures." Because all of you know what happens when you're looking and somebody takes a flash and it flashes and then you're seeing nothing but spots. Well, I told him, I said, "Close your eyes now." And I would take a picture, and we would close our eyes and we would do that. And we followed our way down there. We followed our way to where we felt the steps were going. All of a sudden we started hearing screaming, and it was a woman screaming. And he looked at me and he said, "I am seriously going to unalive my brother." And I said, "I don't think that's a man screaming." So we're rushing through. Now there's debris on the floor. There's fallen, like all kinds of wood stuff on the floor from being burned out. And as we got to the other side where the other turret is, there was a wooden door. Now the wooden door had been torn off of this side, but the wooden door on that very far opposite side was still there. And it was intact. Everything had been burned around it. And you could tell it was an original door because it had original hardware on. It had original all kinds of things. Now, my darlings, as we got up to the door, we heard knocking coming from the inside. And we didn't know what to think because there was a wooden bar across the door. He looked at me, I looked at him, and I said, "Take me up to that door." As we got closer, the heat that came to my face was so overwhelming. I mean, seriously, I could feel my makeup running. I felt like I was melting. 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 We get up to the door and I'm shaking and it's not because I'm scared. It's because the heat, and I don't do well in humidity and heat to begin with. But I'm shaking from all of this, and so from being so overwhelmingly hot. Then I have a costume on that wasn't a costume over my clothes. It was just costume. But you know how it is when you're not in a comfortable clothing, and it wasn't really that comfortable to begin with. And I'm taking pictures, and you could see like varnish that had bubbled up on the outside of the door. I put my hand, because I have to be grounded, on that door. It was so hot that my hand stuck, and I could not get my right hand off of that door. Now I start screaming, "Help me. You got to help me. Get me off this door." This is the days before we had bottled water. These are the days before we had any of those convenient things that we took with us. Finally, we peeled my hand off the door, and the pain, I can bet you my handprint is probably still on that door, but the pain was so horrible. And we heard people inside that room. And I turned around and I said, "We're leaving. I can't go on anymore. I cannot go up that other turret. We are leaving." And he said, "I agree." He takes my good hand and he takes the camera and he keeps saying, "Close your eyes." And he would click. And we heard heavy footsteps as though they were running down on that opposite side where the church was of those steps. So he keeps saying, "Close your eyes." We were taking pictures. "Close your eyes, close your eyes." We finally got to the stairway where we went down, and all of a sudden I felt the heat just came off of me. And the look on these people's, we got down to the street level because it was pretty much dark. The look on these people's face when they saw me, and they kept looking at him and saying, "What happened? What happened to her?" And he said, "The heat." And they're like, "What heat? What heat?" And he goes, "It's burned up there." And they're like, "You mean there's a fire up there? It's burning up there?" And he goes, "No, this is from a long time ago. It burned up there." So finally, at this point, I was crying because of the pain. I said, "My hand, so one of the other people was an EMT. They didn't call them EMTs back then, but he was an EMT, and he said, "Come on, let's, whatever. Let's go under the light." And we went into that little parkway. You see this here, that little park with all the trees there in the middle between that turret and the church are city lights. They're street lights. He says, "Let me see your hand." I held up my hand, and my hand, the first layer of the skin had been ripped off of my hand. And he said, "Okay, I'll look, honey. Just give me a second." I said, "I can't take this." I ended up going to the ER in St. Augustine, Florida. Now, I had to make up a story because the fire marshal told us not to go up there. So basically, I don't even remember what I told him. I said, "I just got hurt." And I didn't really tell him. I didn't lie, just didn't tell him. They treated me for second-degree burns on my hand. And I'm right-handed, and it took me forever to have that hand heal. And at first, that night, I tried wrapping it, and I was in so much pain. So then I would put it in cold water, and then I would wrap it in ice. I was exhausted from pain, from not sleeping, from nothing. So now this was a whole yeah, Jerry, I'm going to have to find out what's going on there. Thank you. So this was, now remember, this was completely abandoned. Now, as of about 2000, they did open up some rooms in there, and there's shops on the bottom floors and everything else now. But I don't know what they did with the top floor. So I was miserable. No, I see you, darling. I see you. We're going to take care of it. I see you. I have to go into the settings and look again. Can you do me a favor and email me your YouTube channel, please? Not your name, a link to your YouTube channel. And then I can go in and try to, I don't know what happened, but we'll try to go in and unblock you. So there we go. We'll fix it. So anyway, I was miserable. I was so sick to my stomach. And the next day we had this luncheon. So I finally, after taking Tylenols and all these other stuff, it had calmed down enough. But it was one of those things that if you moved your hand, it would start up again. So it was horrible. So here's the thing, my darlings. I went to Publix grocery store. We had to get film developed back in those days. I gave the fellow some, and I went into the refrigerated section and held my hand on the side of one of the in that refrigerator section part right there, because I was so miserable. Finally, after an hour and I did a little shopping, I went back to pick up my film, and the guy behind the counter says, "Lady, I am so sorry. Kodak says that they'll give you a roll of film if we can't." He said, "I developed these, but almost every one of them had weird things in them." I said, "They did?" And he goes, "Yeah." He said, "I'll give you the," he said, "Do you want them?" I said, "Oh, yeah. I want the pictures." And he said, "Well, here's another roll of film, and hopefully you'll have better luck taking pictures the next time." And I said, "Well, yeah, hopefully I will." And that was pretty much it. I didn't even look at him. I went to the lunch, and I just would take little piles and hand them out to over everyone. Holy mackerel. Holy mackerel. These people started looking at him, and they would look at me and they were like, "What is this? What is this?" So I looked at him, and almost everyone had a mist, had something. And the one from me sitting in the table where those girls said that they saw something behind me, and nothing was behind me. You could see a figure standing in the corner in the back behind me. The most interesting thing is that when we were up in the turret, when we heard those footsteps, and where he was taking the pictures and I was taking the pictures, one especially, there was a hand that had come down like this. All you could see was about this much right here of the arm, and then the hand, and it was like this. I don't know. So the next day, Mr. Green Jeans and I, pardon me, pardon me. So the next day, Mr. Green Jeans and I, and by the way, if you haven't given me a bump right now, please do that because it really helps. And I really appreciated it. Appreciated as in past because you've already done it. I'm believing it's mine. So the next day, Mr. Green Jeans and I went down to the Historical Society. We got a hold of this older lady. That's the best ones that you can get, right? She was old when she got old, it seems like. But she was the nicest lady. And she took us down into the archives. And she told us, she said, I can't find anything, but I do know there was a fire in that place. And I said, yes, I believe that too. And by this time, I have my hand all wrapped up in gauze, looking like I'm whatever. And she says, I think I paid her like $50 or something because she spent so much time. And she goes, oh no. And I said, listen, take your husband out for dinner. Go, because down there in St. Augustine, Florida, they had these little places that were called a meat and three, where you could go in and they would give you an option. You get your choice of meat. Now it's protein, but you get your choice of meat and choice of 3 vegetables and either a side of cornbread, a biscuit, or a piece of bread. Light bread is what they called it. So, my darlings, I said, take your husband to a meat and 3 and you guys just have a good time. And he says, or she says, oh my gosh, she was about in tears. She goes, you are the nicest lady. And I said, well, in this circle, I probably am. So she began to tell us, my darlings, this is the story that I know. Is it fact? I still can't find out, but you can tell that there are fires that happened during that time period, and nothing was really well recorded. That's all we know. But the legend and the story goes like this. Because as you can see right here, St. Augustine is on a waterway. So beyond the water is the Atlantic Ocean. Evidently, there was a gentleman and his wife and 5 children that came from wherever, and they were coming to St. Augustine, and they were staying, and he was very wealthy, and they rented part of the top floor. He wanted those children to stay in one end, and he and wifey were going to stay in the other. She didn't like it. He was mean. He was one of these, not a dad. Children had their place, they did their choice, they'd be quiet and blah, blah. He finds out that she is expecting their 6th child. Well, look, pal, if you don't want any more, right? Put it away and don't use it again if you're that rich with history. Okay, so anyway, so she's expecting again, number 6. All of a sudden, during the middle of the night, he kept getting up and walking around. He goes to bed. He's drinking. She smells smoke. She runs down the one turret and runs across and goes to the other turret. Here, Daddy-O, starts a fire, and he boarded those children in that room. The mother got the board off of the door, but it was too late because the fire was there. They couldn't get out, so she closed the door. And they all perished in that one turret, in the room where that door was still intact and where I burned my hand. Now that, and we did not tell that woman with the Historical Society what had happened with me because she probably would have freaked out. And so, being the good non-Catholic that I am, because I loved that basilica, I decided, after I dumped off Mr. Green Jeans, I decided that I wanted to go visit the church, light a candle for them, and sit there for a little while. Pardon me. And that became so surreal. It was so sombering knowing. So evidently, we had thought that the woman that we heard was probably her screaming. We had thought that the big heavy footsteps were him coming down out of the one turret. So when we next had our JC meeting, we all got together and we decided, to tell the story. And by this time, my hand was, because we had a meeting about once a month. By this time, we had, my hand was much better by this time. And I was able to take care of it very well. And remember, we didn't have any internet. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any cell phones. So I worked and I was staying at the Equinox Hotel. And that's where I was working out of, at the Psychic Friends Network. So I just feel that was something that probably is looping and happens quite often because that energy is so bad. I do not believe it's their spirits. I believe it was the energy looping, because let's not forget, my darlings, remember how we saw the mushroom frequency and he was vibrating and having a good time? Our homes do the same thing. Don't know if you know that or not. Have you ever noticed that when you're out for a drive and you see a home that's sitting by itself in a field, it's dilapidated, it's worn down, it's crazy, it's all this stuff, and yet you go down the road and people who do not take care of their homes are certainly not in the shape that one that has been abandoned. And that is because our homes connect to our energy. That's why when I get a new home, I always walk in and I always say, listen, I'll take care of you if you take care of me. That means protect me from the elements. That means if something is going wrong, you give me an indication. Do you need a new faucet? Do you need a new electrical box? Do you need a new hot water heater? I want an indication. So for me, the idea that all of a sudden, all these people, because this place had been abandoned and it was nasty. Pardon me. The fact that all of a sudden, all this energy was near these people, near this abandoned house, and the fact that Mr. Green and I went and interacted is amazing. Hold on, somebody's texting me. Hold on. And that's what I think it is. I believe that it was an energy loop. I believe that it was a It was an expectation of, oh my gosh, look, because it's almost as though, I don't know if you can imagine this or not, but when energy and frequency and vibration, they match to someone, it's almost as though a curtain call. Oh my gosh, somebody's here. We can connect on this energy. Just like many times when I've gone on investigations, the batteries in your equipment and your devices most every time drain, almost down to nothing. It's because where you are, the home, or whatever energy is coming through needs that energy and order to come through. That's the only way that can happen. That's the only way it can happen. It's all based on energy, the binary system, the ones and zeros. And you have to look at it from a scientific place, because otherwise it's going to mess you up and keep you up at night thinking that, oh gosh, we die, our spirits are going to, now no, their spirits are not lost. They're not hanging out. They've moved on. The intellect of their souls have moved on, but this energy continues to loop. How do we know this? Clairaudient, clairsentient. How many times do you go into a place and all of a sudden you catch a smell and it takes you back and reminds you of something that your grandmother, your great grandmother had baked, or the holidays or whatever? It's the same thing. Energy cannot be destroyed. It only moves forward. It cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. The only one that can create is up here. The rest has already been created. We just move it around. And that's how that is. And that's how I believe what happened. I believed because, and believe me, the adrenaline with me and Mr. Green Jeans probably was so high that it was like the energy grabbing the energy. I wish I could explain it better, but that's how it is. So I got to tell you, my darlings, this is something, because St. Augustine is one of my favorite places in the whole entire world. Sorry, just a second. Anytime I talk about anything that is, I get a little something in my ear. Something there. Sorry, there was something that felt like it flew by me. Anyway, I love St. Augustine. One of my favorite places in the whole world. There's another little thing about St. Augustine, and now it has ghost tours. Back then it didn't, but now it does. But I'm this night owl, so to speak, and I would stay at the Equinox Hotel. My favorite restaurant is no longer there, but it was as you were coming in, and I could walk to my favorite restaurant, which I would have lunch probably there every other day. And I would have had lunch there every day, but I had another place, a little French cafe that I would go down and get coffee and a croissant or something like that. But this other little restaurant that was called La Parisienne, I could walk to. I walked everywhere. I loved it. You didn't have to do anything. I walked everywhere in St. Augustine. And it was just so fantastic. The Equinox Hotel, the lady passed away, unfortunately. I don't think it's there anymore. However, I would get up. This is the brave Zelda. Don't ask me why. I would get up at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would head out. I would walk the streets of St. George Street. That's where all this historic, and for those of you who don't know about the history of St. Augustine, Ponce de Leon was the explorer that came and landed in St. Augustine. So, yes, I've been to Casadega. And all I heard were people fighting about how each one was more psychic than the other. So I almost went to college there. I wanted to go to university at Flagler University, and I forget what happened. My mother got sick, and I had to go back to Tennessee. But that's where I was when I actually got my esthetician license, my nail license, because back then it was the psychic struggle thing, right? But went down to, I would get up at 2:30 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and I would hear this cello music. And I would think, where is that coming from? Because St. George Street is this historic little street and it has all these historic homes. You can't drive there. Only on one part was where the Lions building was. But in the walking street area, there's no traffic. So it's all walk through. And it parallels with, I believe it's A1A or something like that goes down through there. And I kept hearing this cello music, and I kept thinking, what is going on? What is going on? So I was walking through, and one of the sisters from the Basilica of St. Augustine was out. And I said, "Excuse me, sister, may I ask you a question?" And she looks at me, she goes, "Of course." She starts talking to me in a different language. I said, "No, I only speak English." She goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Now, I had that all the time when I was in St. Augustine. I don't know, whatever. But I said, "Where's the cello music coming from?" I thought maybe it was coming from the steeple area. "Is this coming from your quarters? Where is this coming from?" And she said, "Oh, no. No." She said, "It is a woman that has no family." Come here, sis. She says, "It's a woman that has no family." And she says, she plays her cello from 1 o'clock in the morning until 4 o'clock in the morning because she says that it keeps the devil away. I said, "Really?" And she says, and she smiled. She goes, "We're not sure it worked." I said, "I don't know. Do you see the devil?" She said, "No." I said, "Well, then it's working, isn't it?" And she laughed so hard that when I would be walking around and she would see me, she would wave at me because she thought that was the funniest thing going. But there were always little quirky things. And I can tell you this, they have one of the largest cat population, just cats out walking around. They have one of the largest cat populations that I've ever seen in a city, ever. And it's so funny because I could not have a cat in the hotel that I was in. And at that point, I was traveling around. I was doing a lot of things. Having a cat was not on my to-do list at that point. But my darlings, those cats would follow me around like it was no tomorrow, because I would always sing to them, and I would always, "Oh, hi, how," whatever. And the same familiar ones that would come around. But there's always these little, listen, don't be sad. They're all very healthy because the tourists feed them. And because, they come up and they are like, "Oh, well, I am cute." I don't say poor kitties. They are very well fed, and they believe me, they know how to turn it on, just like this one here. They know what it's all about, and they are very well fed. Believe me, the people of the city and workers and employees, they feed them regularly, so they're not like these bone strays. This is a big tourist industry, and they would not be able to have these tourists there seeing emaciated cats running around. But I got to tell you a funny story. The graves coming into St. Augustine are above ground. just like New Orleans. They are above ground. And we had a very bad storm, hurricane type storm come through one time. We were battening the hatches. I was in that hotel and it was coming up the water was coming up very close, and I knew it was going to come into my room. So, the hotel made sure that we had things to put in front of the room and, all in front of the door, make sure that no water was coming in and all this other stuff. Yeah, there's no basements or anything because the water table was so high. So it comes through and it is treacherous. Well, there I am a day later, trekking out with my little boots on. I go walking around. I want to see what's going on. I get down to where the cemetery is, and the cemetery is no longer there. There's a police officer there. There's a crowd of people. And in front, the roadway was overcome with it was flooded. You couldn't drive, and there are these caskets floating in the water. Now, my darlings, St. Augustine has been around since what, the 1500s, 1600s? So some of these people, I mean, they're not like my buddy, Lord Gregor. Unrecognizable. So they're floating. And a policeman standing there, and a bunch of people were standing on the roadway with me, whatever. The police officer, we got to the point where it was just kind of like, now we didn't want to be disrespectful. But there was, and I'm going to admit this to you, there was one of these, it wasn't a vault, it was just this box. And someone had been in it. And there's this little arm hanging out. The police officer looks at me. He's waiting for me to say something. Everybody was just like, and I looked at him and I said, don't you think it's time she pulled herself together? I thought that police officer was going to lose it. He was crying. Everybody was laughing, and I felt bad because it wasn't something to laugh about, but it was very intense. And to see something like that is not nice. So at that point, I thought, it's time to get out of here. So I went down to my little favorite French cafe and Vive la France, and had a little bun and a little cup of soup and a little tea, and it's got to be only the bones. That's it. And I sat there. No peach pie, though, in the French restaurant. They did have some peach Danish type. It's a good thing I was walking. I would have probably weighed another 480 pounds. But I was from all this French food that I constantly loved. And that's before I really started paying attention to food laws. So believe me, it was everything lard and shrimp and crab and everything that you could think of, because I was right there and it was just fresh. And they had a place down in St. Augustine that all you could eat crab legs for $7.95 with all the fixins, which I would eat my weight's worth, most likely, and then be miserable on the walk home. So I walked everywhere. I was very grateful. That's the one thing that I loved about St. Augustine and living in a place like that. You just walked everywhere. Sometimes I would take a little bus, or, a buddy or something would be going to the grocery, and I would, say, hey, can you give me a little lift? But other than that, it was right over the Bridge of Lions, and you do your little thing. Francois, oui, oui, that's right. Je n'étais pas le pont. So that's the way it is. There it is, my darlings, the infamous Lions Building in St. Augustine, Florida. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And something that I'll never, ever forget. That was a good one. I'll tell you, that was, I've been thinking about this, and it was Halloween night. And I got to tell you guys, ready? 35 years ago. No. Yeah, 35 years ago. 35 years ago. That was something else. So there we have it. Now, take a little break, my darlings, because we got a giveaway coming up. Take a little break. Then I want you to let me know how things are going. And I would like to know if you like that numerology, the Zeldan Codex numerology, because I am writing a book. I'm putting it all together and hopefully making it as easy to understand as possible so that you can download it and say, yes, I said to the police officer, Linda, my darling, don't you think it's time for her to pull herself together? And bless whoever it was, I don't even know. Because there's this little arm hanging out the side, floating away. Zelda, you bad girl, flippin' A. But, I just can't help but being fresh sometimes. So there we are. So I just want you to know, though, back to the Zelda, and somebody asked me, in fact, my bestie who lives in Tennessee, who has been following along with all this, and she said, Zelda, I can't understand this. And I said, but you will, because numbers are everywhere, and we connect with numbers, and numbers are frequency, numbers are vibration, numbers created the world. When it all comes down, it's all about numbers. And she said, where did you get this? And I had to think, and I'll tell you that story. So, oh, good, rock and roll, my darling. Yeah, I'm getting ready to have it. Mrs. Marie, bad Lady Zelda, but tell me it was funny as Dickens. Yeah, it was funny as Dickens, all right. It was funny. And I'm sorry to admit it because, sometimes I'm not one to be disrespectful, but I didn't mean it that way because it was just really like, everybody was, it was horrifying to see that. And it was kind of like that B movie thing, you just kind of look at it and you think, anyway, thank you so much for enjoying that because I am going to do that with the bad actors of 34 Fairview. It's going to be the Zeldan Codex. Somebody today thought I said Cotex. No, not Cotex, Codex. My bestie said to me, where did you learn this? And I didn't really learn it. This is a part of astrology. It is a part of numerology. It is a part of this and that and the other thing and bits and pieces and everything that I've known that I could grasp and hold. Because my darlings, I've been using this for years. And seriously, when I was in the old days working for, law enforcement here and there, that it was very important for me. It was profiling. It was this side of an FBI profiling because all I would need is their birthday, their name, where they were born, I don't even need all the name. I don't even need to know part of where we were born. I don't even need, and I can still tell about a person. And then you lay out the cards, and it all is about profiling. This started when I was married to my lieutenant commander. He was a lieutenant when I married him. He was raised in rank to a lieutenant commander and then to a commander. He was a recruiter in Spokane, Washington, and many times I would go into the federal building with him, and I would sit and work on some of his, some things here and there. His boss, a commander, and I loved him. He was, oh my gosh, wonderful guy. He would come in and he and I would just talk. And my husband didn't like it because he didn't like my husband, but he liked me. So he had this little thing in his head, and he said, "Hey, listen, are you doing anything right now?" "No." And I said, "You know what?" He said, I have some things that I want you to do. Would you mind doing it?" "No, not at all." Little did I know he was giving me testing to go into the United States Navy, just as a fluke, just to see. So I sit there and take tests like any type of college graduate or university graduate would do when they wanted to go into the Navy. You have to take certain tests in order for them to determine where you best fit into. So I would sit there. I took the aviation test. I did ace the aviation test, but I would take these other tests. And then there was one. And when I was done, this commander went into the room with my husband and shut the door. And I heard some bits and pieces, and I didn't know until later on what was said. I had not finished university at that time. So if I would have gone into the Navy, I could not have been an officer. And when you're married to an officer and you're a dependent, and that's what I was, it becomes a strain on your rank. Now, I would not have gone in as an enlisted per se, but they wanted me to go in as a chief. They called it a Mustang. And by going in as a chief, then I could have raised to the rank where I could have gotten to go into the officer ranks from being a chief, but I could have never just gone into the Navy as a chief. As an officer, like an ensign. It would be you can go from a chief to an ensign, but I could not go into the Navy as an officer. I would have had to go in as a chief. I finally found out because my husband resented that. He didn't want it because it causes trouble. And to be married to a chief, it's just something not to be done. But this commander did everything. Now, this commander was a flyboy. I loved him. He was what we called a brown shoe. He was a pilot, but he was a pilot during the Vietnam War, and he was shot down over enemy territory, and he had been captured and kept in a POW camp for quite a while. While he was there, his wife bought him a red Corvette because he always wanted a red Corvette and kept it in mint condition, never drivable until he came home. She had that much faith. And it was his wife that invented those POW bracelets. Many of you may know that. Pardon me. They were in the 70s. The POW bracelets that many of us got and we wore in support of our troops to bring them home. Finally, he was rescued and came home, and he was unable to fly because both of his legs had been broken, compound fractures. And they were not, I mean, they had healed incorrectly and it was wrong. He was in bad shape. So when he got back, he actually lost 2 inches in height to have them corrected. Because of that, he was unable to fly anymore, and he was unable to raise into the ranks and go into Commodore, which he wanted to do. So he decided to go into the recruiting. And there, my husband, when he was stationed in Jacksonville, Florida. He went to recruiting school in Orlando. We were there for quite a while, and then we went all the way out west to Spokane, Washington, and we were out there for 2 or 3 years, something like that. And then we came back to the East Coast because we are East Coast people. We are not. That was a change for us. The animals are different. Everything is different. It's not that it's not beautiful. It's just different. We're from a different, we're just different. And so we both decided that we wanted to come back. And then we landed in Virginia, the state of Virginia. Pardon me. And I went to work for the Psychic Friends Network. But while we were in Spokane, Washington, this commander wanted me to go into the cryptology program. Now, cryptology, I don't know if any of you know about that, but cryptology is the one who sits and figures out puzzles, figure out like codes, like Morse codes, and you figure out codes from other countries and, coded communications and code. And evidently, I did very, very, very well on that test, to the point where it made it very hard on my husband because they had so many people that they had to have recruited. And if he would have recruited me as a cryptologist going in as a chief, then it would have been a completely different life for me. He didn't want to do it. My husband said no, didn't want to do it. Basically told me that, being a psychic is one thing, guys, right? He did not like that. And we ultimately split anyway. But going in as a chief without a university at that time, without being credentialed at that time, that was almost unforgivable. So he basically told me that if I did it, I would be divorced. Well, I fooled him. I got divorced anyway. But at that point, I had already been working for Psychic Friends Network. We had lost contact with the commander. He's probably gone by now. And there we go. So it has been a very, very interesting life. And I started back then. Hello, my darlings, and welcome coming in. But I started back then being fascinated with the numbers and being fascinated with what they mean and how they resonate with people and where you lean toward and that's why I was able to come up with this system. And this system is pretty much right on. And when you see it, pardon me, this is the Noodle Boy. Say hello to Shaggy Noodle. This is for Jerry. That's Shaggy Noodle. But my darlings, I was young. That was 40 years ago. I was young. Yes, I know, Angel. That was 40 years ago. I was married. I had a good life. I couldn't hold a career because we moved too much. But I got to travel around. I got to do what I wanted to. I went all over the place. Here and there and everywhere. So at that point, It was not something that I really had because my mother started getting sick. She had liver disease and it turned into something more serious. And so it wasn't something that I set out to do. It was something that I would have been intrigued to do. And I often wonder what would have happened? Where would I have been? I would have been an officer in the Navy at this point if I would have done it. And who knows where I would have been stationed? Probably somewhere close to the Middle East, probably Washington, D.C., because that's where most are. Probably close to Quantico. Could have been in with the CIA. So, but you know what? If ifs and buts were candies and nuts, we'd all have a wonderful Christmas. And the fact that I was even offered, I love it. I love it. I feel accomplished even without it. So, my darlings, that's how I came up. So, over the years, and then I'd kind of drop it and forget about it. Then I'd bring it up again. Then I'd drop it and forget about it. And it was not until, sorry, I got a little tickle because these people here. Yeah. Okay. So, when I really started getting back into it is when the Karen Reed trial was on. I did not come into the Karen Reed trial until 2024. Pardon me. And when all of this started going on, it was actually Mrs. Marie told me, she said, you need to read on some of these cases. And I actually did some readings on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. And they didn't take off very well. I thought, okay. So then I decided I was going to start reading a lot for Karen Reed. But then I started seeing everything. Sir, we don't eat mommy's hair. Goodbye. Thank you. So then I started seeing all of this stuff about Jennifer McCabe. The 227 search, the 504 search, the call at 4 o'clock in the morning, January 29th of 2022, John's badge number. And all of this started coming back and hitting me. And then 34 Fairview. And then I started thinking, holy moly. Then I started doing the latitude. Then I started pulling in both the cards and so I've been doing the numerology behind the scenes almost the whole entire time, wanting to perfect it before I started doing it for others or I started using, pardon me, oh my. And before I started doing this and, whatever, I think I'm there. I think I'm there now. And there is so much. So when I do roll it out, you'll have to be patient because you're not going to be able to sit down and go, oh, here's a case study and this is what's going to be and this is what's going to be. You're going to have to study a little bit because that's the way it is. And the numbers are slated in stone. It's not forgivable like the cards. It's not really forgivable like the EVPs. It's pretty much slated in stone. And then you have the totems. And then you have a schedule of light. You have a schedule of dark. You have a longitude. You have there's so much. And what I showed you today, yesterday or the day before on Proctor, and then today on Turtle Boy, there's so much more. Because I started yesterday on Turtle Boy, and then and thank God, Virginia saved my bacon, because if I would have put that wrong, I would have felt the wrath of Turtle Boy, but it would have been okay because I probably would have deserved it if I put it out there and it was wrong. So, uh, so anyway, oh, I just heard a knock at my door. Hello, stay out there. So I just had some wrong information about his name. Someone gave me a name and I went with it without saying, and I felt that it was kind of off, but okay. So anyway, I took the first one down. Okay. Just took it down so that way nobody would, whatever. But the second one should be right on. And it's amazing. And I have been working on it since yesterday. I worked on proctors, the proctologist, the proctor, since, let's see, what was it? Since Sunday or Monday, I had been working on his. So it takes a minute, and it takes, that's why I like that. And everybody's kind of like, oh my gosh, that is so funny. You've got that, whatever. But I like those notebooks that have the grid in them because, and if you're going to do this, I would suggest that you get a reading or you get a notebook with a grid or with different shaded lines. I like the grids. That's my favorite because it keeps you straight. And I mean, the case studies that I have one of these books filled from just this week on the case studies. So that's why I go through these a lot. I probably need to put a grid book in my wish list. So that's how that all came about. Linda says, I saw that today about Turtle Boy and I was amazed, but you lost me. Totally lost. See? And that's why you're going to have to dot paper. That's right too. You can do that. And that's, my darling, it's okay. It's okay. Because I was going fast. If I didn't, that video would have been probably 2 or 3 hours long. And no. Yes, I need to do that. I need to put that on my Amazon wish list, don't I? So, hi there, detective. I see you coming in the chat. Bless you, my darlings. I was always really interested in what you do. I tried learning on it a while back, but nothing came from it. Well, this is my own that I put together. So you'll never find it anywhere else. It's mine. And I want to make sure that I've got it trademarked and everything else before I put it out there too, because I'd be very upset if somebody stole my stuff. They already stole my art. And I'm still seeing my art floating around here and there, but that's okay, I guess. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? If I start going after everybody who steals my art, I'm not going to be in a good way. So there we go. Let's take some. Oh, wait, let's hear Ellen. Hi, Ellen. The POW bracelets a girl went to school with, she had her brother's bracelet. Some years later, he was identified and unknown. Oh, see, those were something, wasn't it? Do you remember the POW bracelets? I sure do. I had them. It was amazing. Let's go through some of your chats, my darlings. Let's go through some of your supers. All right. Mima, good evening, everyone. She's been here for a month, and we're very glad of it. Kat has been here for 2 months. Thank you so much. And Kylie, my darling, make sure you email me so your link to your YouTube, because YouTube does that. You're not the only one. YouTube has done that so I can make sure that you're unblocked. Okay. So there we go, my darling. Because I can't do it just by your name. I've looked. Denise been here for 4 months. Welcome, welcome. And look who here. Massachusetts Sunlit Rebel. We got a birthday, everybody, and you know what happens. Are you ready? Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear sunlit rebel. Happy birthday to you and many more. There you go. Oh, look, somebody's coming to join in. When I sing, they all come a running. There you go. I'm hoping that you enjoy your day today. And thanks so much for spending it with us because we love having you here. Carrie is a new member. Welcome, welcome, my darling. Welcome, welcome. Janice says, great stories. Thank you. Love to you. Well, thank you and love to you back. Give me a second. I got to fix something. Give me a second. There we go. You know, sometimes running StreamYard is like sitting in the cockpit of an airplane. They seriously, if you would see all the gadgets and the buttons and the remove this and put up this and add this and do this, and it's like, holy moly, whatever, right? So thank you so much, my darling. Glad you're here. Kat Randall, my darling, has gifted 5 Lady Zelda Kelly memberships. Just love you. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that very, very much. So there you are, my darlings. Oh, what are we doing here? That was my hair. Okay. Let's see what else is going on here. I want to check out the, you know what? I need a cake. I thought you said I need a Coke now. I might have been able to do something with the Coke, but not a cake. But I'd like to have a birthday cake. There's just something about birthday cake and wedding cake. If I could, okay, man, look at this, eating my hair. Goodbye. Wow. Seriously, there's something about birthday cake and wedding cake. What is it? It's like wedding cake. I told my son, you know what? I would get married just so I could wear the dress that I would design, wear my hair the way I wanted to, and eat all the wedding cake that I wanted to. I wouldn't want to get married, but hello. Joy, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? I'm always game for birthday cake. It's the frost, yes. But I think what they've been doing, what they do in these cakes, is it's the buttercream, but I think they use shortening. I think they use shortening in the icing. Maybe when I get moved, I need to. Ooh, he shed like crazy when he was up here. Woofy. Maybe I love yellow cake with chocolate frosting. That was my favorite. My grandmother always made that for my birthday when I was little. Maybe I just need to build an event barn and have an unmarried ceremony and just order nothing but peach pies, wedding cakes. Sounds like plan to me. Chantilly cake. Oh, yeah, definitely so. Stephanie, my darling, thank you so much for my palm reading. It touched my heart. It made me cry. You're so amazing. Oh, well, don't cry. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I was a little confused. The order had another name on it. So, but I'm glad you got it. And I love your profile picture, by the way. I'm so happy that you love it. Very good. Very good. That's great. I'm so happy that you like it. I need a peach pie housewarming. I've been wanting peach pie since your story with Sheriff Not So, right? I don't know about you, but I think when we vote on the stories from this series, because we have 2 more left, I'm going to do another one next Thursday night, and then the following Thursday night will be the last one. And we don't know. I may have it again, but this streaming has been a little. It has been a little. It's a little much, but it's okay, right? I would rather do it because I'm having fun too. I love to see you all. But I don't know about you, but I think the story, sir, I think the story that's going to win is the not so. Don't you? I think I think the zombie and hold on. Let me see where that is. I've just got to do this. I've got to do it. I need cake. I need pie. What am I going to do? Nobody around here will deliver in that sort of kind of something. Nobody delivers right now at this time pie or cake. Maybe I just need to order one and say, look, I'm going to get married until I don't. How's that? I'm going to get married until I don't, but send me the cake. Let's see if I can find that something. What am I doing here? Let me see. Let me see. Where is it? It's not there. Buddy, you're putting mommy here in a bad way. Let me see, my darlings. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Maybe I still have it in StreamYard. Maybe I do. Really, I do. Maybe I don't. No, I don't. Well, shoot. I wanted to show it to you again. I know I did that one time. Where did that go? Hello? No, it's not there. I don't know. It's the one where I had the zombie walking through, the zombie walking through the graveyard. Oh, here we go. I love buttercream frosting. There's a recipe. Oh, God. What do I order from Waffle House? He usually gets a waffle. Sir, boy, sometimes he can be out of bounds, that little fart. Okay, he gets a waffle. I get, not to be bougie, but the cheese and eggs, 2 scrambled eggs with raisin toast and a bowl of grits. That sounds good. I might just go ahead and order that. I made some beautiful cheesy potato soup. It's in the crock pot. I've had like a bowl of it, but now that I'm talking about Waffle House, what in the absolute heck? Honey, I'm sorry, Debbie. It was lost, and I'm sending out another one tomorrow. So I'm sending that out tomorrow. So you should be getting it very, very soon. And I apologize for that. Because our post office, for some reason, likes to send things into the cosmic unknown. And they've raised their postage. So there we go. So sorry, honey. So sorry. And that was another thing that I did. I used to make wedding dresses when we were in when I was in Virginia, when my husband was out to sea. I do live in the South right now. I'm wanting to move to Tennessee. You won't really know the area that I moved to, but I like the South because I am from Ohio and I cannot take the cold winters. That's just it. Now, I've got to show you something. And please promise me that you all won't be jealous when you see this. I know it's going to be hard. I know. Are you ready? I know you're ready. Are you ready? I got a boo bucket from McDonald's. I didn't want the food. I didn't want the food. But look at the boo bucket that they gave me. I thought I was going to get a pumpkin. And I got a kitty. Now how cool is that? Look at these little faces on the this is my little boo bucket. So if I decide I want to go trick or treating, wait, there's more. They send you a little lid, and check this out. Glow in the dark stickers. Is this not it's a kid's meal, $5.07. $5.07. Let's go. And the back of it, I love this. Look at these little stickers. I won't use the stickers because I love them. Do you do that too? I won't use them. And I have a whole great big stack of Halloween very cool stickers. And I don't use them because I don't want to waste them. Now, sticker Zelda. You can say I have sticker shock. Now, on the back side, it says here, trick or treat time, visit all the houses on the block and celebrate spooky season. And look at this. They give the little kiddos a little maze, and you have to start out. You start right here, and you have to go through and visit all the little houses. Is that just not so cute? So, anybody has a problem, I just take my boo bucket and go. There we are. I love it. Mister, do not come up here and chew my hair, or someone will be gone. Is there a link to the other stories? Hi, my darling. The other stories are in a playlist in my channel. They are in both channels, but in my channel, there's a playlist that is called Help, I'm Haunted. You should be able to find it pretty easily. You should be able to find them. And if it'll help you, they're every Thursday night. We've been doing it for 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. So there you are. Yeah. And here's the thing. This man, stop eating my hair. Look at this face. Is that a face that you can really be upset with? No. Goodbye. He eats my hair. And he was walking around the other day. He had a piece of it about that long, walking around with it hanging out of his mouth. Oh my heck. I saw the Clue Canton edition, and it's all over the Talkie Tick. And I had to stop a minute. I'm like, oh my heck. Is that real? I want one. Hi, Adriana is a new member. Bless you and thanks for being here, my darling. Way to go. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much. Love it. Way to go. 6 weeks. Wow. Time flies. Yes. What is... Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. If you'll give me a second, I'm going to try to find it. Because you guys will laugh your head off. Let me try to find this for you. You've got to see it. And I'm sure whomever will not copyright strike me because it is on... Oh, sorry. Hello. Running out of space. Oh, what's new? Let me see. The Twitter. It is the rules of Twitter. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me see. Let me find it. I'll find it. Maybe. There's some things on here I'm not quite certain I could be putting up. Oh, of course, when you want it, you don't find it. Let me see. I'm going to tell you what it's like. It's the most hilarious thing in the century. Hold on, let me check my bookmarks. Maybe I bookmarked one of them because I think it's so hilarious. I bookmark recipes and REM pods. That's what I bookmark. Recipes, different things. Let me see if I must not have bookmarked it. Well, there's the little mushroom. Well, I'll find it. Here's what it is. My darlings, Canton Clue. As you know, the game Clue, they have these little figures. It's like a commercial, like the ones at Christmas that you see for little kids' toys. And they'll say, oh, look at the Canton Clue. Look, we have this murderer outside of 34 Fairview Road. And it looks like a toy. 34 Fairview, the clue is good. The clue is good. They have a car wash. They have a one that is the Sally Port. Pull in they have this like an SUV thing, looks like Karen's, that pulls into the Sally Port, and you see tape on the one rear of it is hysterical. I'll have to find those and show those, because I just think that is the most funny thing going in the library with a candlestick. That's right. It's hilarious. Do you know that I wanted to do something like Clue and have a members only and do something every week, and YouTube won't allow it? Yeah, it's funny. I'll show you. I'll show you. The next time I see them, I'll bookmark them and then I'll show them. I love Hello. I love board games. I love board games. My son and his girlfriend, well, I don't know about her. My son, friends, get together. Let's play Clue. Let's play board games. That's living. Let's have snacks. Right? Let's have snacks. So anyway, my gosh, it's hilarious. On the Tubes of You with their rules. That's right. That's right. So anyway, we're busy anyhow. So that's the thing. Let's have a giveaway, my darlings. What do you say? Let's have a giveaway. I'm on here. Chatty. Let me take this banner fuel. That was a commercial I used to sing back in the day in Spokane. I can, and here's the thing, my darlings. I seriously cannot do anything right now because I have this paranormal thing that I'm gearing up for. I have all of this, and it just seems I am so blessed, and I'm not complaining, but that's what a rice jar does for you. I just want you to know. A rice jar, my rice bowl, is like, oh, let's just you want to manifest? Let me show out, Zelda. Come on, this is the universe. Oh, Zelda, let me just show out, darling. Let me just show you. Let me just show out. Who sent me a Venmo? Let me see who it is. Zelda, do not read this. Zelda, do not read this. Thank you, my darling. It's going to be fine. I love Pinnacle. I love cards. Euchre. Until when I was little, when I was playing cards with my grandparents, and it would mess me up because I became a cartomancer, and I kept saying to my grandma, this card, and she's like, shh. So anyway, I have asked Miss Melanie. She's just as busy as I am. Maybe in November she can come back. I have asked Attorney Nan. I think Attorney Nan is going to come back. The Cab DJ and Boston Bia will be here again. We can always have Misdemeanor back. She loved it when she came. But here's what I want to do. Don't know if any of you saw Attorney Nan and I when I was reading cards or Misdemeanor. What I would like to do, and maybe I can get Attorney Nan to come on. She might be a little bit more available than Attorney Melanie, because I know Melanie's got kids and career and all this, and she's really in high demand. Well, so is Attorney Nan, both of them. But what I want is for one of these beautiful ladies and gentlemen to come on and say, let's talk about this case. What do you think about this? Because if you watched when Attorney Nan was on here, she was asking me about a case she had. And so she was asking me, and I was sharing what the cards had to say. We might be able to throw in a little bit of the Zeldan. Don't know. We can do it. We'll see. How's about, my darlings? Let's have a giveaway. Here is the prize, 1 month subscription. So get ready, my darlings, 1 month subscription to Stream Beacon TV. Be careful, there are 2 Beacon TVs. So this is Stream Beacon TV. Yes, it is on a playlist and it is under True Crime. No, it could be under Live with Zelda too. You'll have to look at that. You'll have to look. Okay, so, and when you win, the winner, email me and say, I won. And then, my darlings, hold on a second. Then, my darlings, you email me and I'll give you the code, because there's a activation code that you use 1 month. And then you've got it for a month. If you see everything, they've got movies on there. There's paranormal investigations. There's all kinds of stuff, and it is cool. So, and it's wonderful. So we'll have to thank the people at Stream Beacon TV. And I'm going to try, I just saw where Sean Austin, he's a buddy of mine, a paranormal investigator. He went on, he is investigating a poltergeist activity in Ohio. That's on the Tubes of You. I had an idea. Maybe I'll ask him one of these days if I can collaborate on a stream or something when he's going out and whatever. You can talk to him. He's a great guy. He's also a demonologist. Then we have my vampire boyfriend. Boyfriend? What? Lord Gregor, please don't listen to that. Okay, here we go. Let's have a, what do you say? Oh, let's have a, where am I? Giveaway. Here we are. Now I'm going to give you, and please enter one time. Okay, please enter one time. Getting serious, absolutely. And get ready, my darlings. Here we go. Start entering hashtag fun. Hashtag fun. Let her rip, tater chip. Da, da, do, 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 do. Oh, I should sing a song while you're entering. How's that? Hi, Elizabeth. Make sure you get into giveaway, my darlings. Go. How do you like this one? Wee Willie Winky, running through the town, upstairs and downstairs in his nightgown. rapping on the window, crying through the log. Ooh, are the children all in bed? For now it's 8 o'clock. Keep going, my darlings, and hello to the Goodmans who are here. Bless you, my darlings. Hello, hello, hello. Keep going. Sooner or later, the feds are gonna get them. Sooner or later, feds are gonna get them. Sooner or later, feds are gonna get them. Sooner or later, the feds are gonna win. It's just a matter of time until they make up their mind. There you go. That's the feds for 34 Fairview. I have never thought Agent Oobligada had quit. I never thought. How much do you think? Do you think that these people, since Proctor's information has come out, do you think that they're defecating in biblical proportion about right now? I think so. You know, I got to tell you this. I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I don't feel sorry for Proctor. The ice cream truck is coming. I don't wait. This is going to be the grim thing. Ready? They're coming for you, Bad Actors Guild. Oh, they are shooketh. Now, I do not feel sorry for Proctor. I feel sorry for his children. There is absolutely there's no money there anymore. I feel sorry for his kids. Just like I feel sorry for Matthew Farwell's kids. I do not feel he deserves the unaliving penalty. What flavor of ice cream of the month should we give them? Peach. I don't know, something horrible. I feel terrible for all the children. That, the Dan Markel's children, I feel sorry for all of them. I really do. I feel sorry for them. Because while we are celebrating seeing justice, I feel sorry for John O'Keefe's niece and nephew. Imagine Rocky Road. Oh my gosh. That just gave me an idea for more merchandise. The ice cream truck with Rocky Road. Oh my gosh. No more Superman for them. Gosh, that sounds good. Now, where can I get ice cream at 9:20 at night? Like I need it. Oh, Pebbles. That's great, darling. Snow cone flavor, right? Blue paint moon. Blue paint moon, right? How about black licorice? Oh, my dad used to eat black licorice ice cream. That was the most sickening thing. Oh my gosh. Did you need the little toe tapper? Good. Rocky Road ahead of them. Go. Don't forget, keep entering, my darlings. We have over 150 people here with both channels. And we only have 35 entries. Come on, my darlings, get in here. Let's have some fun. Hashtag fun. Let's go. I wish I could get some hunky FBI agent on here. Right? Snow cone flavor is real though. They don't have a flavor. It just tastes like snow. But I feel sorry for these kiddos. We will be doing EVPs for Sandra. We will be doing EVPs for John. I think John's got some more to say. Come on, my darlings. Come on in. The dog guy, Melanie. Please tell me his name again. It escapes me because I wanted to ask about a cadaver dog, and my bestie has been asking her dog trainer who owns a kennel about Garrett Wing. Ian Whiffen, my darling, was with Celebrite. No, I'm not going to have Celebrite on here. Oh, my heck. Garrett Wing. Yes. Hello. So see, I remember after this was over, June 18th, everyone, even though we celebrated Karen being acquitted, there was a void. It was kind of like we got up the next day because it was on a Thursday, and we got up the fruit punch. There you go. We got up the next day, and it was like, we're going to have it in just a second, Joy. And it was kind of like we all felt this left because for how many years we were all together watching the Karen Read trial. It was an event. It was not only a trial, it was an event. Believe me, we got so much content. Okay, last call, my darlings. Let's go. Let's go. Last call. Here we are. We have 40 people in here, and now we are drawing. I'm sorry if it's too late. Ellen, you are a winner, my darling. Ellen, you are a winner. It was an episode for sure. We were missing justice of the actual persons who did it. We're still, that's going to be another thing. That's going to be another episode. Ellen, please do me a favor and email me, and then I will send you your code. Thank you so much. We will have another drawing on Saturday night, then one on next Thursday, one on next Saturday. Now listen, I got to tell you this, my darlings. First of all, we are, in fact, let me check something first. Let me check on something. Let me check. If you are not a subscriber for True Oracle, please do me a favor and pop over there and become, it's free to become, because we are 6 subscribers away from 11,000 people. We went from approximately 4,000 to, I'm just going to say, 11,000 in 1 month. 1 month tomorrow. We gained over 7,000 subscribers. Not only that, we went up to 700,000 views on True Oracle. That's what you want to see what my rice jar did for me today? Do you want to know? Let me see if I can pull it down for you. Let me see if I can pull it down for you, my darlings. There we go. I'm going to share it right now. And this is an achievement I just never even thought that I would have. There you go, Amy. Way to go. Way to go. My darlings, I have to show you this. Never, ever did I think, and this is from my rice bowl. Look at this. 1.6 million views with this channel as of yesterday. 1.6 million. When I got that achievement, I about fell over. Never, ever did I think I was going to achieve that. Now, if that were subscribers too, hello, I'd be in high cotton. Hello. But seriously, when I got that this morning, I was like, what? The Goodmans. Thank you so much, my darlings. You are so wonderful. Have gifted one membership to Fate and Fortune. Thank you so much. And maybe somebody will just subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. And if you come in here, you have to be prepared because you know I'm a talker. And just so you know, okay, the majority, 98.9% of the art, thank you so much, everyone. You guys are great. 98% of the art that you see on both channels and on Lord Gregor's is all me. It's all me. And it's because you guys deserve it. You guys deserve it. If you're here and you're wanting to be entertained, and if you're having memberships, then betcha by golly, wow, you need to be entertained. You need to be happy while you're sitting here. And you need to want to stay. Some things I do use a little bit of AI. I've taken a lot of classes to understand that. Good night, Joy, my darling. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you. But I want to give you something back because you know what? I get sometimes in True Oracle, I get people who get mad and say, oh my gosh, you're telling us the same thing everybody else is telling us. Oh my gosh, I'm not a legal channel. I'm far from being a legal beagle. I let that up to our talented, beautiful law tubers. I do my own gig. I'm my thing here. So you may hear a little bit of something, but yeah. Detective, you are so cute. She's an icon. She's a legend. I'm a legend in my own mind. She's our Lady Zelda. Thank you so much, my darlings. Oops. I can't get my fingers to work all at the same time. Thank you. You guys are fantastic. I ignore the hate. I've got my filters set so high on our YouTube channels that some of these little game things that I posted, like in the community tab, you know, you were born in this, you're either this or you're this or you're this. And I kept thinking, why aren't people responding? And then it dawned on me. I went to the held comments because I had devil, witch, all that stuff in the held comments. So there we go. My darlings, thank you so much. But if you get a chance to come over there, this is Shaggy Noodle again. Thank you, Amy. If you get a chance to come over there, and please just subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Just pop. Oh, we got one new subscriber. We're 5 from it. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen, my darlings. Thank you so much. Let me tell you what's going to happen, my darlings. When we hit 13,000 subscribers on True Oracle, we are not that far from it. 2,000 subscribers only. We're not that far. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. I have an extra House of Zelda card deck. And when we hit 13,000 subscribers on True Oracle, because I'm almost to 14,000, I think. So when we hit 13,000 on True Oracle, our giveaway will be awesome because I will give away a House of Zelda deck, and that is $100 value. So I will give that away. And now if you are any place outside of the United States, apologies ahead of time. But what I will do is give you a video reading that would be equal to that. Several questions, several decks, probably a Zeldon reading, something like that. So it's free. Please pop over that. In fact, I'm going to do this. I'm going to put the link to True Oracle in our chat. Oh my goodness, we're 3 away. We're 3 away. Hold on, everybody. We're 3 away. Let me go to the link. Shaggy, I'm going to tell you, I'm probably going to wake up one of these centuries with half of my hair gone because this guy wants to just lay out my hair. All right, my darlings, here we go. I'm going to put this in the chat. Someone had a rice jar question. Give me a second. Oh, hold on. Now, I'm not putting this in True Oracle for obvious reasons. This is in mine. So this is for True Oracle, my darlings. If you get a chance, just ploosh on over there. All right. Who had a rice jar question? Can I ask a rice? Yes, you may do that, Mary. Please ask the rice jar question. There you go, my darling. We got you back. What would you like to know? You're so sweet. Thank you so much. There you go. Okay. I made my rice jar just based on zero knowledge. Well, there are notes and money in it. Okay. So tell me, my darling, what's wrong with your rice jar? What do you think is wrong with it? Because I bet there's nothing wrong with it. And I'm sure you had more knowledge than zero knowledge. So what do you think? And of course, you may redo it all the time. Okay, my darling, you don't have to follow the manual. The manual is a guide. Give me a second. Before you came here, darling girl, I started out with this as a rice jar. And I put money in here and notes and this and that. And then I grew to this. Then I used this as a rice jar. Oh, this is Petey. I thought it was Shaggy. This is Pink Nose Petey because he's looking at my son because this is my son's cat. Look at him. Folding over like a pretzel. Oh, look. He's like, get me down out of here. I've got to go see my man. Free again. So I went from 1 to 1 to 1. Now my rice Joel and bowl is a jar. He's a fluffy boy. He's big, but oh my goodness, they tickle my nose. So I went from this and this, and you can see this is the kind of coffee because I've gone through 2 coffee makers, and for some reason something happens and they go kaput. My next one, I want to be a Nescafe in another life. But I have a Keurig now. This is just as good. I make instant coffee just as good as if it were brewed. Don't tell Mark Betterow that. But I love that. But I went from this to this, and now I have a rice bowl. And I put cinnamon in it because cinnamon attracts good things. I put cinnamon in it. I do. And there's not a rule. If you don't have a glass jar, you can use a plastic jar. But I use a bowl. And I put it out near on the table by the kitchen. It's a high top table. So every time I go through there, I just take my finger and stir it and just say, thanks for all the blessings that I'm getting. Thanks for all the blessings that I'm getting. And I'm going to tell you, you're seeing that as a result because Mrs. Marie and I both said, let's manifest our channels. And it'll be 1 month tomorrow. We did that on the 22nd of September. On the 24th of September, I uploaded a video. And that thing went up to I think it's almost 70,000 views. One of them now. What? 70,000 views. There's another one. They're all pretty much getting minimum 10,000 views each. I'm not doing that on my channel. And there's reasons that I'm not. But so here we are. Ouch, ouch. Of course it is. Of course it is, Amy. Of course it is. Absolutely, of course it is. So when you can do cinnamon, you can do clove, you can orange. If you have orange scent, that is wunderbar. Do that. Yes. Yes. Stop with the fingernails. So absolutely, there's not hard, fast rules because it's not about the rice and it's not about the jar. It's about the intention. Because here's what happens. You can do a bay leaf. It's wonderful. But here, and what you can do is take a pen or a pencil and mark on your bay leaf, a marker. I have a bay leaf in mine that's got the picture of a home. Hey, buddy, can you do me a favor? Do you see my rice jar up there? Do you my bowl? My son's making fun of me. That's okay. I know I'm loved when they make fun of me. A twig spring, right? Right? I drew a picture of a little house on my bay leaf, stuck it into my rice bowl. It's that little white. Get down, son. Not that son, that furry one. Thank you, buddy. Okay, you're going to meet him next Wednesday night. So get ready. The banter. This is my rice bowl. You see this? And those dark spots there are cinnamon. I've got a very good smelling little something or other in there. It's called hotel smell. I love it. You stir it around. It's like, oh my gosh. Here's one little note. Now, this is going to sound really weird. I knew because, I'm a press-on nail girl. These are mine, okay? Because I can't wear the press-on nails often because I have my hands in water too much. So I saw this beautiful set of nails. Buddy, I swear, these kitties. I had this idea of what the nail is that I wanted, and I made one nail. I put that one nail in my rice bowl. It was 3 days. Mrs. Marie sent me a picture that was almost like what I wanted. I about shape-shifted, and I got those nails. Hello. So you see, that's how things go. How do you make the rice bowl? Well, honey, I had the rice jar. I poured that into the bigger jar, and then I poured it. All you do is you pour rice in there into the bowl, knowing that rice attracts, and it's setting your intention of what it is that you want. There you go. And then you stick a little note in there. You put notes in there. In fact, I forgot what this one is. I'm gonna take it out and I'm gonna say what it is. I thought it was that. You can put a little bit of cinnamon in there. You can put, and believe me, now there are some, and you might want to check on True Oracle, the Manifestation Mondays, because I talk about the rice bowls and rice jars often, okay? So I talk nice to my rice jar. Oh man, I'm thankful. Oh yes. Now here's the thing. How specific should we be, Karen? Well, I'm going to say you should be as specific as you possibly can be, knowing that, knowing that you're setting your intention, you're setting your goal. As an example, for the house that I want, I have set a certain expectation. I don't like a corner fireplace. I like a fireplace in the middle because I like things symmetrical. So that's what I like. I don't want an eat-in kitchen. If I have an eat-in kitchen, I want a separate dining room. Those are the things that I put in my rice jar. The universe has this wonderful way of wrapping it all around together. And it's amazing because when I look on realtor.com, I actually have choices that have just about everything in that I want, including the acreage, including the fireplaces, the fireplace count, the garage. Wait, hold on. We can't go anywhere without hearing this.
The garage, essentially.
So the garage that I want, we have to, everything. Just know that when you get on that same wavelength, that same frequency as your garage, that choices will start coming to you. Same thing about relationships. Now be careful. If you're trying to manifest a relationship and you put what it is you want with someone, believe me, you're going to start getting on that wavelength. And I want you to remember that it's just like a radio station. You got to keep changing the frequency until you find the song you want. The same thing. You got to keep changing the frequency until you find the right mate for you. And make sure that it's Mr. Right and not Mr. or Mrs. Right now. That's what you have to remember, because just making sure that you don't say, oh my gosh, I did this and the person that I want came to me immediately. However, this person is a dud. He's like when you open the door on Mystery Date and you get the dud standing there. But I guess I have to take him because after all, the universe sent. No, you don't have to take him. The universe sent because you're getting onto that. You're getting onto that frequency. Okay, so there may be some things there that resonate with you, just like with Mr. Mystery Date, but he's only Mr. Right now. He's not Mr. and Mrs. Right. So with that being said, you got to be on the lookout, because things are going to start coming your way. Opportunity is going to start coming your way. As an example, Mrs. Marie and I and she's always coming into money. Things are coming in for me. And Mrs. Marie put some things in her rice jar I never thought I would see, and it's here. But I put success with my YouTube channel, success with my business, success. And I'm telling you, I have to pick and choose the projects that I'm going to be doing coming in the next. Let's just hope I can live that long to do everything that I want to do, because I have all this wonderful stuff, and it really is about how do I pick and choose? Because it's not, here's the key, I have attracted it, I have manifested it, now I choose it. And with myself in focus, keeping myself in focus, I got to make sure that what I choose I can do and not just try to do it all at once. So I'm doing it all, but I'm doing it all half hind end, if you know what I mean. So there we are, my darlings. I hope that explains it. Susie, how often do you add something to your jar? Or thank it, Zelda. I add stuff. I mean, if you want to add it to your every day, you can do it every day. When I walk through, I put it so I can see it when I'm in the rooms, when I go from room to room. And I'll stir it 1 or 2 times with my finger and say thank you, and boomola, I'm off to the races. So there's not a hard, fast rule, but you've got to keep your intention toward it. You got to keep your intention toward it. And that's the cool thing. Do we put intention that we have in the jar all at once or over time? You can do it all at once. And if you run out of room, because one of these days, this bowl is going to have to get bigger. So I went from a little jar to a big jar, and then I'm going to this medium-sized bowl. My goodness, I'm going to end up with a gallon bucket here pretty quick. So anyway, hold on a minute. Karen, hi, my darling. Do you put one in every room? No. Well, you can if you want to, but no, I don't. You can have one specifically, like if you want a house one, you can do that. If you want a car one, you can do that. Or you can put them all together. It does not have to be glass. It doesn't have to be glass. I just put it in glass because, like when there's a new moon, that was like, I think Monday or whenever, day before yesterday or 2 days ago, I put it on the windowsill so there's moon rays come to it. It's like it charges it. And if there's a new moon or a full moon is when I put it on the windowsill. I used to put them outside. The weather's changing and I don't want, little furry friends coming up and taking rice because, So there we are. So yes, my darlings, let me make sure that I've got everybody here that on the gift side. So my darlings, I think that's about it for today. Don't forget to come back on Saturday. I had to think what day it was. Come back on Saturday, my darlings, so that way you can be here for another Seeing Crime. And look for tomorrow. For some reason, I just keep getting something is going to happen tomorrow or Monday on this Proctor thing. If it does, it might be behind the scenes, so stay tuned, okay? But I want to thank you so much for being here tonight. I love sharing my stories with you. I love sharing all these things with you. Thank you so much. You guys are so wonderful. You're the best chat on the tubes of you. And I will see you again Saturday night. And you know what? I might even break down and get some Waffle House. I mean, who knows? AMC Scarefest is on. I watch Tubi. Oh, it's a good night. So thanks again, my darlings, for being here. And I will see you again really, really soon. Hold on. I got to get rid of this. Don't forget your grifting psychic up here too, my darlings. I know you don't. But thank you so much. I have to say that because, the trolls love it so much when I do that. So that's why I say it. So Here we are, my darlings. Thank you so much again. Thank you for being here. Many blessings to you. Oh, wait. Let me see if we made it on True Oracle. We made it. We are at 11,001, and it's because of you. I am so thrilled, and I cannot wait to hear Mrs. Marie tomorrow. This is really her channel, and she's going to be thrilled. So I'm excited. Thank you again, my darlings, for being here, and I will see you again Saturday. Bye. And so the lantern fades, but the shadows remain. This story may end here, or perhaps it's only just begun. See you soon.